everybody, to the Baseball Odds Watch podcast. Welcome back, I should say. Got to make sure that we are live on our streaming partners. It gets weird. Like sometimes it just doesn't go. It's like a weird thing that you got to do. You kind of got to press go live on both platforms. All right, now we're live. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the Baseball Odds Watch podcast. I'm here, Eddie Virgil, with you as always. Chris Gambino's not joining us today just because I didn't coordinate. That's kind of on me. So if Chris pops his head in on the live, we'll make sure to shout him out. It's rivalry weekend, which I don't know if it really means anything to anybody, but MLB has heavily promoted this weekend as rivalry weekend. I'm not into it. Maybe I'm the only one, but this isn't rivalry baseball. These aren't the MLB rivalries. Like, MLB's got real rivalries between teams, and none of those teams are playing each other. The closest team to a rivalry on this rivalry weekend is the Angels or the Mets and Yankees, right? Because they're the only ones who, on this list of matchups, right? Let me start that statement over. I'm not buying into MLB's rivalry week because I don't feel like there are any real MLB rivalries playing. If you look at these matchups, it seems all so fabricated, right? This seems more like a marketing stunt. And the thing is, there are real rivalries in baseball that you could have just scheduled them because all those teams are playing. All those real rivals are playing this weekend. They're just not playing each other. The only team that you can say is maybe a rival here is the Mets and Yankees, right? Because there is history back when like Roger Clemens and Mike Piazza hated each other, right? And we've had the incident between a couple years ago between Francisco Lindor and Giancarlo Stanton. But other than that, I mean, there's no real rivalries here, guys. This isn't real. This isn't real. These are fabricated. The Yankees' rivals are the Red Sox. The Mets' rivals are the Braves. The Dodgers' rivals are 100% not the Angels, and that's who they're playing. So MLB could have just done it that way. They could have just had them play each other, right? Why are they playing random teams? You want to do it right. Have the Red Sox play the Yankees. Have the Mets play the Braves, who are their rivals, right? And then I'd have the Cardinals play the Cubs, because those are real rivals. I'd have, the Dodgers maybe play the Padres or the Giants, because those are rivals. But, like, it's doable without having to make it up. MLB just kind of made this up. Oh, Shohei Ohtani is going to be playing against the Angels. Who cares? There was no bad blood when Ohtani left. I don't think anybody expected Shohei Ohtani to stay with the Angels. He went to the Dodgers. That's what he should have done. So this kind of fabricated rivalry weekend, I don't think it's going to yield anything for baseball. Right? Besides the Mets, Yankees, I don't think anybody cares. Like, people want to see Juan Soto go back to Yankee Stadium. Sure, fine, great. But other than that, in this rivalry weekend. There's nothing happening. If this isn't real, MLB, you could have done a real good like college football style rivalry weekend, and you completely missed the mark. Fine, you got the Beltway series going with the Nationals and the Orioles. You've got the North Side versus South Side in Chicago between the White Sox and the Cubs. Great, but like those aren't rivalries. The Cubs and Cardinals, that's a rivalry. The Padres and the Dodgers are the Giants and the Dodgers. Those are rivalries. The Red Sox and the Yankees. I mean, that's obviously that's the rivalry everyone knows. The Braves and Mets. Those are rivalries, guys. MLB, you just missed the mark, but it's fine. I'm still gonna watch. Who doesn't want to see Juan Soto go back to Yankee Stadium? Like, let's be real here. Everybody wants to see how that goes. He's gonna get booed, but we know how it's gonna go. He's gonna get booed, and he's gonna go 2 for 4. Might throw a home run in the mix, and then he's gonna do Juan Soto things. So let's talk Yankees a little bit since we're on the topic. They're in first place. They're looking great, right? They're looking really good in the Bronx right now. But this is so right now. Like it feels like watching the Yankees is watching a bubble just grow and grow, and it's gonna burst at some point because the Yankees are great, right? Right now, minus 240 favorites to win the AL East. They're in that top 10 or top 5, I should say, in World Series odds. I want to say they're second favorite still. Yep, plus 700 is crazy for a second favorite. But they've got the Dodgers at plus 250. So the Yankees look good, right? But again, I watch them and I feel like it's a bubble. I don't know how long we can sustain what we're doing, and I feel like a trade is going to be due around the deadline for a pitcher. Like, I don't know how we're getting away with this. I don't know how they're getting. I shouldn't say we. I'm not on the team, and I try to be as unbiased on the Baseball Odds Watch podcast as I can, but it feels like a bubble. It feels like surreal that they're playing as good as they are. I mean, they're running roughshod through really good teams, the Mariners, right? The Padres. They're beating everybody. But I think the turning point will be what it always is, which is why I kind of got a little mad about that rivalry weekend thing, because the turning point always is a series with the Red Sox and seeing how the Yankees do then. And if we lose that series, we're going to spiral a bit. If they win, I might have to buy in a little harder on these Yankees. It's hard to see them win a championship. It's hard envisioning a championship with no Garrett Cole, but I guess it's doable. Like if they can win without him, how far can that go, right? So there's that. Boston's in second place though, and they have like these weird shades of greatness, and then they have these real shades of nothingness. You know what I mean? Like some games they're great. They're not even above 500. The Yankees are the only team in the AL East above 500, and Boston's down by a game, 22 and 23. They're 4 games out from the lead, plus 450 second favorites to win the AL East. But the story in the AL East right now is the Baltimore Orioles. More specifically, how bad the Baltimore Orioles are and how shocking it is. Like, fine, they didn't do much at the off season during the off season in bolstering their roster. Really, they didn't do much of anything. We'll say, but still, dude. But still, 15-27 is not what anybody thought the Orioles would do. They have the second worst record in the American League. The only team in the American League that's worse than them right now is the Chicago White Sox. They're doing right about as bad as the Pirates. So they've got the third worst record in all of baseball. This was a playoff team last year. But this is what happens when you fall asleep at the wheel during the offseason as a front office. Because that's what happened. That's what happened to the Orioles. They did nothing. They got Sugano like he was the next Yoshinobu Yamamoto or something. And they did nothing else. They did nothing else. And they're paying for it. They're paying for it. 15-27. There's no coming back in the American League East from 15-27 this season. Like, that's it. Adley Rutschman got off to a great start, but that's it. Shout out to everybody that's like popped in and out of the TikTok live, by the way. I whatever. Keep coming. This is awful. This is awful in Baltimore. And if you're an Orioles fan, you should be calling for heads because you guys have a new ownership group down there. You guys should be really good, and you're really bad. You're the worst team. You're the worst team in the American League East right now. The AL Central, though, there is some really good baseball being played in the American League Central. That is one of the funnest divisions to watch right now. The Tigers, those gritty Tigers. They're not the same gritty Tigers as last year where they were kind of plug and playing pitchers, right? Where Reese Olson would come in the second inning, which he did it the other day, by the way. But this is not that same team. You got the Cy Young winner, Tarek Skubal, dominating teams. It's rare to see him get hit. And then you've got the Twins surging right now. Surging. And they're the fourth place team in the Central. Fourth. And then you got the Royals, who at any point in time are going to look like the best team in baseball. Cole Reagans is pitching for them tonight, Friday, the 16th. So they're going to look really good against the Cardinals, who are also surging. We'll get to that. And then there's the Guardians, who are still holding on to like the near top, right? The second place team in the Central, 25-18. I don't know at what point that bubble's going to burst as well, but it's going to. They just don't have it to sustain it. But they're another like hustly team. But that's the Tigers division, man. And it's so fun to see, especially after last year when they were like this team that sort of came out of nowhere and then like were gritty and crawled and ran for every single run and win. And now they're just out here dominating, beating up on the guys. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I love it, though. I love it. I love what's become of the AL Central. Even with the White Sox in that division, that's the best division in all of baseball right now. Only the White Sox are below 500 in that division. That's it. They're the only team that doesn't have a winning record. Just the White Sox. That's awesome, dude. What a division. And that's going to play out, right? Because I think the Tigers are going to run away with it. But with how weak the AL East is and how, like, kind of okay the AL West is, it's going to go like it did last year where we see a few teams come from the Central, the AL Central, and win wild card spots. That's going to be it. That's gonna be it, dude. Shout out to everybody joining on TikTok. I've never done this before, so if you're joining me, I'm sorry if this is not like your thing, right? But this is baseball odds watch, baby. So let's talk NL Central because they're pretty dope too. What a division that's become. And before the season started, I called it for the Reds. Boy, was I wrong. Because, I mean, they're not out of it, but the Cubs are just so good. And the Cardinals are finally playing like the team that everyone thought they could beat. The Cardinals finally look scary. They finally look like a team to be messed around with. Hello, Antonio. They're finally like tough on teams. 24 and 20, they're in second place. They're only a game behind the Cubs. And the Cardinals are playing the Royals. The Cubs are playing the White Sox. So, I mean, those should be some easy wins for the Cubs. Although, I mean, we just saw the White Sox, I think, take 2 out of 3 from the Reds. So maybe the White Sox are a little tougher than they were last year. Good, finally. But it looked for a moment there like the Cubs were going to run away with the division. But the Cardinals are biting at their heels and playing like the team we thought they would be like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year. And I don't know what changed. I think it was the threat of like trading guys and getting rid of certain guys, right? Goldschmidt's not there anymore. They were supposed to trade Arenado in the offseason. All of a sudden, they didn't. But that division is a toss up now, right? And when you look at the odds, the Cubs are minus 290 favorites now, right? I know I have minus 340 on the restream here. That's an error. Plus 490 are the Cardinals, even though they're only one game back. So Vegas is saying like the Cubs are gonna run away with it. It's just a matter of time. But it's hard to say that that's what's going to happen now when you look at it. Only a game back. I don't know when they play each other. It's got to be soon. They go to Miami. They play the White Sox. The Cubs do. So, I mean, it's coming up for sure. Oh, wow. It's going to be a while, actually, now that I look at their schedule. Wow. They don't play each other until at least next month. All right, cool. Never mind. I'm wrong. But that's also like a chance for the Cubs to really take off with it. Miami and Chicago, those are some gimmies, hopefully, for the Cubs, if you're a Cubs fan. Now, the Cardinals, a game back, and then there's the Brewers in third place, 4 games back from the Cubs, 3 from the Cardinals. The Reds are a half game back from the Brewers. I don't know what happened in Cincinnati, dude. I know what happened in Milwaukee, and it's that the bubble burst. I keep saying bubble. The bubble burst in Milwaukee. I think I'm one of the few people that kind of knew. I think a lot of us knew that the Milwaukee thing was kind of a fluke, especially last year with nobody. But Woodruff should be coming back this year at some point, and that might help. But I think they're out of it. I think they're done. I think it's over for Milwaukee. Now, they're plus 900 to win the NL Central. If you want to make $90 6 months from now or whatever it is, 3 months from now, maybe. But I have my doubts on the Brewers. And then the Reds, like I really thought the Reds were going to do something. They're plus 1,500 to win the NL Central. I don't think they do it, but it's possible. They're only 21 and 24. They're 4.5 back from the Cubs. I don't see the Cubs slowing down. It's not that I don't think the Reds can get it together. It's that I don't think the Cubs are going to slow down enough for the Reds to overtake them with Terry Francona at the helm. And the team that they have, though, Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McLean, Santiago Espinal, Reese Hines, Will Benson, Stuart Fairchild, I really thought this was going to be the year that the Reds took off with the NL Central. The fact that they're not sort of surprises me. Not sort of, it does. I took them to win this division. I really don't think they're going to. There's still a lot of baseball left to be played, somewhere around 70 something games left in the season. But I don't think they come back in the Central. And then there's the Pirates, who don't even have a coach right now. So I'm not even worried about them. Let's go AL West, shall we? Because the Mariners, they're getting more offensive output than they got last year, and they're getting pretty much the same pitching. And that was their problem last year, was the offensive output wasn't supporting the pitching. And all of a sudden, they're getting it, and they're in first place. But the Rangers are a half game back going into this weekend, and Jacob deGrom is back. And I'm not just saying he's off injury. Jacob deGrom is back. He dominated, shut out the Astros yesterday. Him and Ben Brown last night were going at it. It was a 1-0 game. And if you like offense, that wasn't the game for you. Don't turn on the TV anymore when Jacob deGrom is pitching, because you're not going to get any offense. The DeGrom we knew in Citi Field is back with the Texas Rangers, and that makes Texas a really dangerous team, because at any point in time when that lineup activates the way Wyatt Langford has started the season, Seager, Simeon, Adolis providing the power out of the 4-hole, that team can beat about anybody. It's just been a matter of their pitching. Novaldi can be hit or miss. Now, with DeGrom pitching the way DeGrom's pitching, all of a sudden that team is scary. And if the Mariners aren't careful, they will let last year repeat itself, where they were in first place pretty much all year and then lost it and didn't even make the playoffs. And the way that the AL Central is shaping up, right, where 4 out of 5 teams in the AL Central are way above 500, way above 500, you need to win your division in the American League. You have to. Because if we go back to the AL Central for just a second, right? The Tigers right now, Correa and Buxton, literally right now, because it just happened yesterday, they're on concussion protocol. The Twins, rather, not the Tigers. They're on concussion protocol. If they are healthy, the way that they've been playing, those Twins are the most dangerous team in baseball. That lineup is crazy. Their pitching staff with Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan, and then Duran coming in to close things out, is scary. So if you're in the West, you need to win your division. The Rangers are a half game back from the Mariners, who are in first. And then the Astros are a game back from the Rangers, so a game and a half back from the Mariners, who are in first. When you look at the odds, though, this is not like the Central, where odds makers are saying that this is this team's division. Not at all. The odds makers are making the AL West a toss-up. Plus 140 are the Mariners as the favorites. Plus 140. Plus 200 are the Rangers, right behind them. And then behind the Rangers are the Astros at plus 230. And then there's a huge drop-off to the Athletics, and then an even bigger drop-off to the Angels. The Athletics aren't even that bad. They're at 500 ball, but they're really not in contention here. And right now, I mean, they could be. Because they're only a half game back from the Astros. So not a lot of love being shown to the Athletics when it comes to the odds makers. But those odds, those top three, the plus 140, the plus 200, the plus 230, the odds makers, just like I think everybody else, no one's sure about the AL West just yet. Like, the favorite's not even a real strong favorite at plus. When there's a plus for a divisional favorite, which I think right now, that's the only division that's got a plus divisional favorite, it is. That's such a toss-up, man. which also means that right now would be the time to put your money on one of these teams to win a division. So there's that. Now moving on to the NL West, which is always a story, right? It's so hard to talk NL West, and the reason why is because it's hard to say that the Dodgers are not going to win the NL West. But then you look at the standings and you're like, well, the Padres are only a game back, and they're good. And there was like turmoil this offseason. No one knew what the future of the organization itself was. And yet, they're a game back from the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers are minus 550 favorites to win that division. They're the strongest favorite to win their division in all of MLB. And the Padres are like at plus 650. And this is FanDuel's odds. I haven't even like looked on DraftKings or anywhere else. This is FanDuel saying this. Minus 550 is insane for a team that's only got a game lead in the division. Now, if you think the Padres are going to steal this division, now would be the time to make your investment. Because plus 650 is intense. $20, you're winning 100 and what, 20 something dollars? That's insane. That's pretty insane. 100 is going to win you 650 clean if they can pull that off. If they're only a game back. They're only a game back. So, and then there's the Giants who are 4 games back. I mean, they're good. They're not great. I don't think they can steal it. They might sneak into a wild card spot there at 25-19. They're plus 2,100 behind the Diamondbacks, who are in fourth place, but third best odds, third favorites, essentially. Boy, it's those top two. It's those top two. It's the Dodgers and Padres. They should be playing each other for rivalry weekend. So if you're thinking Padres, which some people are starting to, right? Most people thought last year that if any team was going to beat the Dodgers in a series, it was going to be the Padres. Right? I agreed. I was one of those people. If I'm being honest here, I'm a Yankee fan. I didn't really think we were going to beat the Dodgers. I didn't. I'll be honest here. Shout out to everyone that's popped in and out of the TikTok live again. I didn't think so. But the plus 650 for the Padres to win the division, just a game back. I'm just saying, those are crazy odds for a team to only be a game back. Now let's go NL East. The Mets are in control of the NL East for now. 2.5 games up on the Phillies. I don't think anyone saw that coming into this season. But the Phillies have like had some skid marks, some weird games that they've lost, some games that they should have won, right? Like against the Marlins, the Nationals, right? I think they lost opening day against the Nationals. The Mets look good. Surprisingly good. And I say surprisingly just because like your starters are Sean Manaea and Clay Holmes. Those are your guys, and Tyler McGill. They're not big names. They're not like household name guys. The household names are Lindor and Soto and Alonso, and they're in your lineup, and they're all performing pretty well at the same time. That's the story. Edwin Diaz is very hit or miss coming out of that bullpen again. I think he's kind of lost that, right? Like he's sort of gone from that, but I don't know. TikTok's like got a bunch of stuff popping up on the screen. But yeah, man, the Braves though are coming back Acuna's on his way back. Acuna started his rehab assignment for the Braves, plus 400 to win the division. The Phillies are plus 190. The Mets minus 125 favorites. Braves are 6 games back. It's a long, long way back right now. But I think if anybody can do it, it's the Braves, dude. If Acuna comes back good and then Strider comes back, that's the team. That team can really steal the division from the Mets. Like there are a couple teams that can steal the divisions right now. The Cardinals, maybe. Not really. I'm not even gonna say the Cardinals. The Rangers, for sure, can steal their division. The Twins can steal their division. And the San Diego Padres. Not even the Twins. The Rangers, the Padres, and the Braves. I don't think the Phillies take the division. I think I said it last week. I think Philly has plateaued. They've leveled out. Like they're not going any further than they've gotten. That's about it. Now I think the Braves with a healthy Acuna and a healthy Strider, they can surge. They can make a real push. They've been the Mets boogeyman for years. Should that trend continue, they will upend this division. And they'll take it. And I think they might. Legitimately, I think they might. They were my pick in the preseason. They're still my pick now, the Atlanta Braves. So, with that being said, that's our show. There's a lot of good baseball on this weekend. I mean, it's not real rivalries, but Royals are playing the Cardinals. Those are two surging teams, the third place Royals and the second place Cardinals in their respective divisions. Obviously, the Yankees and Mets, Juan Soto returning to Yankee Stadium as a Met. That's going to be prime television tonight. And the Mariners and Padres, two teams trying to take their respective divisions. And the Braves and Red Sox. Not really rivals anywhere in there, but rivalry weekend. Hell yeah. Watch some baseball. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining the live on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, everywhere that you guys have been live today. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you guys, and I will talk to you again next week.